It's never going to be anything. It can't be anything other than fun for me in the future, whatever that means. Yeah. Music for me these days is so much different than it used to be when I was, I mean, and nobody who's listening probably knows this, but my SJ days being the days in which music and DJing was my job and producing records and like hustling and trying to do the thing. Um, and now, which is I may go, I may be like working every night of the week, and then I may go 3 months, and not even think about it. And that was I could have never imagined operating that way, back then. But, over the years of kind of disconnecting from it and then just dipping in here and there, it's really it cleans me out, like in terms of I only work when I'm inspired. I only, I only work when I'm inspired and when my life is set up for me to be inspired. Like, I haven't set up
Mm,
my studio since I got back from Lightning in a Bottle. And so it's like, okay, well, I'm looking at my scents and everything just like sitting out and, I don't really, it's like, I'll just sit on the piano and I'll play. That's fun. So I never
totally.
like get in, but once I get set up and then it hits me and then I'm like, oh yeah, like let's get inspired. Or I hear a song, and like that kind of makes me um inspired. I don't feel like, it's like I'm making tracks and music and starting to figure some things out. And the, pro the promoters have, hit me up and be like, yo, show us, like, where can we fit you in? And I'm like, I'm not sure yet. Like, I'm still
Give
like, I'm
me a
still figuring
second.
it out, you know? Um, but, I think that like, again, for me, it's never going to be anything. It can't be anything other than fun for me in the future, whatever that means. So I have no pressure, no timeline, no like, oh, I'm not releasing a record every 6 weeks. I don't have like, who's my team? No, I just want to get inspired and like make some cool things and it'll change. And um, yeah, and I mean, musically, like, I festivals, festival season always inspires me. That's like where I feel like I kind of get it. And Lightning in a Bottle this year was, great every year. It's the best. And it was my girlfriend. It was her first festival, and so she got, to like experience the whole thing. And of course, after going for so many years, like we've got the best setup, and we had the big camp, and we've had a cold plunge. Like it was, yeah, it was good. So I think that just being connected to the scene, like I think is really important. And
Mm,
just like being able, because my life now, you get older and it's like I run a company and I do it and I love it, and I get lost in it because I love it. But that's a completely different world
yeah.
than the world of music and what gets me inspired. And so it's good to like dip in, like be
Mhm,
with the people and be like, oh yeah, okay.
mhm.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay up late a few nights next week and like finish a couple things.
Yeah. 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 Yeah, absolutely. I think it, what you're talking about, creating space for inspiration, um, but also making time to understand the landscape of music and the scene, so to speak. Like to parallel what you do with your company, you're serving a certain group of people that have a certain need, or like there's obviously like a process. It's pretty in-depth stuff that you do, but I'm making it, very simple. That you're serving a certain need for a certain group of people. And with music, if you're not making time to like understand where the scene is, where the community is, that even if you make time for inspiration, that it's really hard to integrate those two. And as we get older, it's you really have to be intentional about that.
You do. It's like it's harder and harder. Yeah. And for me, those I can't separate those two things. Like my inspiration is like the people who go to shows, like
Yeah.
and love to dance and who love music and EDM and house music and all the things. It's like, and then especially too is when I kind of ended my professional run, I was like, oh, I don't care about like records and streams and all the things I used to care about. I
Mm.
just want to like DJ for people and like have people hear my music. And I want my records to make people dance. I wanted to move a dance floor and it was all based around an experience again. So yeah, it's like, it's fun to make music. Like I probably wouldn't be making music at all if I didn't have the opportunity, to get out and to play because that's kind of the thing that like gets me inspired.
Yeah. Yeah. I totally agree. Seeing playing a track that you've created, that you've poured a lot of intention into, and feeling that resonance in like a very present, inspired space. There's not many feelings like it.
Yeah. You're like, does everybody hear that mix? Isn't that low end so tight? Don't you hear all the things that I hear? It's
Nope.
all worth it.
But I don't know. I've been doing some kind of meditating on what just like what matters most, and there's been this common thread of bringing people together, helping people and bringing people together that's existed for as long as I can remember. That like the happiest moments of myself and the most like present, connected, or fulfilled moments have been moments where people are coming together, that people are like progressing together. And when you infuse music into those priorities, it becomes a lot more fun.
Yep, does.
I would absolutely I want to hear more about lightning in a bottle because it's not well, I saw a bunch of the photos that you posted and it's incredible. But for time's sake, I think like going into just some of the like the soundscapes that you're toying with, and I don't know, the professor project that you're building. If you want to go into it a little bit more, I don't know. It's just really cool to hear the other day.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, what was like kind of the catalyst for stepping into that project?
Yeah. Well, I had, SJ, I think my first record was in 2016. It's almost been 10 years. Wow, that's crazy. Um, yeah, 2016, I think. And I toured and, you know, got a bunch of streams um and it was my job and it was like yeah, and I poured everything into it. I wanted it so bad. And it represented, it wasn't just music, like it represented like I was expressing through it, you
Mhm.
know. And and it represented kind of a version of who I was. Um and there was something almost kind of symbolic of being like if you really don't care, I mean, if you don't care, hang up the jersey. Like, the only reason I would keep doing that project because it's my music, the music I'm interested in, the music that inspires me, the music that's just I made that music when I like wanted, you know, to be at the top of the charts.
Mhm.
And I'm inspired so much differently. So it's really a continuation of something that, it's kind of like I get to go back and play a character and people call me my old name and it's like it reminds me, it makes me nostalgic for LA and like and all the clubs and everything. Whereas, now I express through everything I do. So, the professor is a very intentional name as well. It's really me saying like, oh, I want to put on a new costume and like and express the archetypes that I'm like, you know, that I want to express in my whole life and in my business and in my development as a person. It's like, let's make a fun project and let's express it in art and in the music. And so for me, from a musical kind of perspective, it's been I've moved like I explored a lot of different things, like different genres of music, stuff I really like I'm fans of, and shows I go to and artists that I follow. Music I think probably I wish I could make, you know.
Mhm.
And then I start the more I come back and I've got a kind of a DNA in electronic music, which is it's house, it kind of got melodic, it's like UK and this, I've really been inspired by a lot of like kind of the Afro house, this like all this new kind of Afro house that's like coming, just ways of which, I was really when I started making music, my first tour, I was on tour with like Kill the Noise and Seven Lions and like and and I was like, I didn't know. I had one song out and it was like a
Mhm.
pop song. And I'm like, okay, what do I have to play to like
Mhm.
on this set? Like,